Hello everyone and welcome to Slipjoint Sawyer. Today we're taking a look at a traditional pocket knife made by Arthur Wright and Sons here in the UK, and this one is exclusive to Moonraker knives, and I will put the link for that in the description below. But this is what we're taking a look at today. This is a Barlow. Of course, this is handmade by Arthur Wright and Sons in Sheffield. Now, it's quite impressive that they're still doing this despite them being only three sort of knife makers there in the actual building. There's only three of them making the knives for Arthur Wright and Sons, and the amount they're pumping out for this quality is phenomenal. So Michael, Ashley, and Beth are doing an absolutely fantastic job at Arthur Wright and Sons, and I mean the quality of their work sort of speaks for how skilled they are as craftspeople. But this is the Moonraker exclusive. Now you can pick this up for £38.95, and honestly, I think that is an absolute bargain for what you're getting. The fit and finish, I cannot find a single thing wrong with this. All seems flush all the way round. I mean, it's even dead center. The scales are nicely lined up. There's none of that stepping around you can get sometimes with handmade knives around the bolster. It's all perfectly flush. It's hafted extremely well. They've even rounded off a little bit of a kick here on the tang, so that's not sharp at all. But let's take a look at what we've got. So this is stabilized spalted beech wood scales, and I think you'll agree that these look absolutely fantastic. I've not got any better wood in my collection, I don't think, than these. This is definitely my favourite sort of wood that I've picked up for my collection. You can see like the grain going through here, and of course it's stabilised, so it's going to be extra strong. And I did sort of condition these with mineral oils just to get more of that natural grain out, and I think it looks phenomenal. I'm incredibly impressed with my purchase, and this wasn't sent to the channel or anything. I bought it as a normal person would, or any of you would, from the website. All I asked for is, can you make sure the fit and finish is good in the little comments box? And I mean, they definitely did that. I've got a fantastic example here. But we have brass pins holding this together, all of which are wonderfully smooth. You cannot feel any of them on either side. We have nickel silver bolsters that are pinched on either end, and they are, well, they were polished. I've been carrying this knife, so it's a little bit scratched up. It's been used. You see, we're going to have no tang stamps. You've got a tang stamp, no half stop, but you've got a rounded tang in there, so it's going to be a nice cam tang. And the thing I love about this exclusive, normally when Arthur Wright and Sons do a Barlow, it's with their sort of signature clip point blade, but this, the guys at Moonraker went for a Lambsfoot. So you can see it's a C70 carbon steel blade, so there's a little bit of patina forming on the blade where this has had some use. We have the Arthur Wright and Sons Limited Sheffield, England on the tang stamp. Nice flat satin finish on the C70 blade. The edge pretty straight and even on this side. There is a little bit of a wobble in the middle here where it's a little bit shallow and a little bit heavy at either end, but it came really sharp out of the box. It just gave it a bit of a strop and it was good to go. Really nice aggressive point, great for scoring on that Lambsfoot blade. Now, if any of you don't know, Lambsfoot is fatter at the base of the blade and thinner at the end of the blade. You have sheep's foot, which is the same width all the way down, and then you have a ram's foot, which is actually thinner this end than it is at the end of the blade. So many of you aren't aware of what the differences are. That's a little bit of knowledge for you. You're not going to get much of that on my channel. I'm a bit of a just get too excited with how how the knives look rather than facts about them. But how can you blame me? Looking at this thing, really nice kick, and that's quite unusual for an Arthur Wright and Sons kick. That looks a lot like a Rogers kick on their Lambsfoot, but I'm guessing that's sort of standard to stop any blade wrap, which there is none of. And this one came beautifully clean on the inside. Of course, we have brass liners. We do have a carbon steel back spring as well. Nice nail nick in there, makes it easy to get the blade out without any issues, but there's enough of this blade exposed at the end with that kick that you can actually pinch and open this, and that's quite unusual for a Lambsfoot. Normally the end of the blade is buried quite into the handle. Nice traditional Barlow style pattern then. We have that elongated bolster and a slight swell at the end, not as sort of exaggerated as normal Arthur Wright and Sons Barlows, where they would have quite a bulbous end, but this honestly fits the hand tremendously well. If you've not picked one up or you weren't aware of this knife, make sure you do. I actually picked one up for Andrew at Baxter's Blades, and it's on making its way over to him because he wanted to grab one of these after he featured it on the Slippy and Thrifty show. Now, unfortunately, I haven't got my normal mat where I would show you the measurements, as it's absolutely filthy from the house smooth, but I have the trusty tape, so we'll look at some measurements of the knife. So we have a closed length of about 3.5 inches, which is about 9 centimeters or 90 millimeters, which is pretty much in that Goldilocks zone. I know I've mentioned it previously before. 3.5 to 3 3/4 is sort of perfect size for my hand, and I am 100% positive this is going to be a UK legal blade, where we have tip to tang of, where are we, 2.75, nearly 2.8, and then a cutting edge of pretty much 2.5 inches. So you're not going to have any issues with carrying this in the UK. As you know, we're allowed to carry a pocket knife as long as the blade's less than 3 inches and non-locking. You're not going to have any issues at all. But Spalted Beech wood looks fantastic. Obviously it's a natural material, so yours wouldn't look exactly like this, but you would get a fantastic grain, I'm sure. Build quality, absolutely spot on, not an issue with that at all. C70 carbon steel. Now, is it going to hold an edge for the longest? No, it's a very budget steel. It's one that Arthur Wright and Sons have used for many, many years, along with a lot of other Sheffield cutlers. It's a very nice Sheffield steel. And it takes a nice patina if that's something you're into. I quite like letting my blades patina. I let them go as long as I really want to, maybe get like a real dark grey, and then I'll polish it off and just start again. I'm not too fussy with the patina, but if you want to keep the patina free, a nice mineral oil coating after each use will sort of keep that at bay. But the walk and talk on this then is, well, just listen. It's right about 7 to 8 pulls. Let's give it about a 7.5. Lambsfoot wasn't a blade I was actually that interested in. I do have a Rogers Lambsfoot, and I was never really, like, I love the knife, but Lambsfoot wasn't one I really liked to carry. And since getting this, I've been really enjoying the blade. It's a fantastic working knife. It's great to get down and do your score cuts. It's great as a sort of a fruit knife. You can get that sort of your apples peeled or whatever you want to do with it. But I'm very impressed with this. Again, it's an Arthur Wright and Sons Barlow in the Stabilized Beech, which is exclusive to Moonraker knives. Now, I will put the link in the description below for this, but I really hope you enjoyed my overview of this. Please be sure to like, subscribe, and ring that bell for notifications, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace out.